It's time for Side Scrollers with me, Stuttering Craig. You decide when you lose, not other people. And Blabs.
I like pickles.
And co-hosted by our friends from around the internet. If you like common sense, hit that thumbs up button and, of course, the subscribe button. And join us Monday through Friday live at 11 a.m. Central Time. And now, broadcasting from our homes, it's time for the #1 gaming and entertainment podcast on God's green earth. It's time for Side Scrollers.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome on out to Side Scrollers on YouTube.com and Rumble.com and SideScrollers.locals.com. Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday to ya. Hi, I'm Stuttering Craig. My, oh my, have we stumbled into a phenomenal show for you guys today. We have so much to talk about, and the chat is already feverishly upset about titling and thumbnails today. But you know what? You're here, friends, and I think it's important that you're here. I'm glad you're also joining us today, the one, the only Blabonian.
Blabonia, I like that. Hello, chat. Chat's always spicy, so it's always fun to see what they have to say.
Yeah, it's good. They are the next chair on the show. They are always the next contributor, which is great. If it's you and I, chat's the third. If it's you, me, and Razor, chat's the fourth.
Me in the chat.
That's
rebranding.
Right. That's how it goes. Joining us today, we have a couple great guests going on today. It is Tuesday. Joining us in a wonderful monochromatic wonder, Razor Fist. Hello, Razor. How are you, buddy?
Well, hello.
Hello. Good to see you. I see you got your gloves on, ready to rock, huh?
Doing what I can. Yeah, I just got in from outside. I was literally on my motorcycle a second ago.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, I texted you asking if you were dead.
I wasn't dead, but on a motorcycle in this town. You weren't far off, actually.
I've never been on a motorcycle. My dad had a motorcycle.
I have. That's sad.
Why? They scare the hell out of me. Like,
are you afraid of horses too?
No, because if you make a mistake on a horse, you fall down.
And you can die.
You make a mistake on a motorcycle, you're dead.
Yeah, tell that to Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, Christopher, rest in peace, Chris. That's rough. But yeah, I don't know. The motorcycle is intimidating to me. I know a lot of people love the motorcycle. My dad said it was like the best thing ever. But for me, I don't have a whole lot of desire to get on a motorcycle. Just you mess up, you're dead. So
yeah, it's okay. Lots of guys don't have dicks. It's fine.
You know who does have? Listen, we all know that Malik Obama has it.
A dick.
That's right. Well, listen. In 2024, there are a lot of women who have dicks, apparently, which is great. So, which is great. But look, we got a lot going on today, and joining us today once again, it's been a while since she's been on, but we're glad to be joined once again by BX. BX, great to see you. How are you?
Hey guys, good. How are you?
Oh man, listen, I love having you on because when you're on, we put on the hats, the tinfoil hats that everyone says is a conspiracy, and then like 6 months later, the tinfoil hats are removed, and they go, "Oh, she was right after all." And that's what I love about having you on.
Many such cases.
Yes, it's
Plus,
great.
it's nice to have anotwant lody on the panel. Up until now, all we had was Craig. So.
Oh man!
Yeah. You want to go, bro? I'll fight you.
I was about to fuck that shit up. It's great. Well, look, we got a lot going on today. We're glad you guys have joined us. BX and Razor. It's going to be a really good show. We're going to be getting into Star Citizen, which I'm sure the chat is feverishly upset about the title of today's stream and the thumbnail, but that's okay because we got Razor here to talk about it. We're going to dig into Twitter or X, I guess is now what it's officially called. And BX has some really interesting data and facts to talk about what's happening over on X. We're going to get on over there. Disney is currently crumbling under its own weight, and it's honestly hilarious to see. But I would like to remind you guys to start the show. We are live over at rumble.com/sidescrollers. Make sure you guys hit the follow button over there as we continue to grow. Why do we love Rumble, Blabs?
Because it grows organically.
That's right. Every day. We also have an X account where you can watch the show over there every single day. You can do that over at Side Scroller Pod. You could have found out that Razor and BX were going to be on. It's great to have them. Also an Instagram account, don't we, Blabs?
Yes, we do. So follow us for memes and clips of the show. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm never making you a sandwich ever.
Oh, wow. No sandwiches for you. The worst kind of punishment. Kick. We have a Kick account as well at kick.com/side-scrollers. Kick. I'm just looking at my run sheet. Kick. Apple Podcast. Locals. There you go. That's what it says. So there you go. Go there. If you're new to the channel over on YouTube, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. Join the 83,240 lovers of common sense in the video game and entertainment space. Let's do our best to get to 900 likes and 25 members today. We are going to do it. And Blabs, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you and didn't let BX and Razor know that it is Pride Month. It is Pride Month.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. What?
I know. And as part of Pride Month.
No one told me.
I wish someone had said something. Don't you? My goodness.
I know. And as part of our
isn't it amazing the founding of our country gets like less than a day? It gets like an evening, but two strangers cornholing each other. Oh yeah, let's dedicate an entire month to this.
That's right. Well, part of our Pride Month celebration is the release of our new merchandise available right now throughout the month. The American Pride t-shirt. You can pick it up right now, have it ready to go for 4th of July. You'd be surprised how many people are pissed off that we have this shirt this month. People are so upset.
Really?
Yes. So go pick it up like Whoop did. Whoop picked up the American Pride t-shirt. It says, "Now this is the pride I like, but only in moderation." All right, Whoop, thank you very much for your support and picking up that shirt. Really appreciate it. Like I said, I want that to be our biggest selling shirt this year, that American Pride, which is great. But we're off to a killer start today as, listen to this. Valkyrie Winter Blabs came in with the very specific, a $66.38 direct donation. Says, and Razor, this is new. BX, this is new. "We need the jiggle. We need the jiggle. We need that jiggle. We need that jiggle." Blabs, give Valkyria the jiggle, please.
Okay.
What?
There's the jiggle, guys.
Wow.
I'm not even mad. So.
God, it's so subtle.
I don't know. Did you see that lady the other day talking about that? That was kind of a viral thing.
Well, I mean, I saw it. I didn't necessarily hear
you lost me at lady talking. I don't.
Well, I mean, she's doing a lot of jiggling. So congratulations, Valkyria. There it is, 66.38. Maybe that's the exact amount that people.
Best video I've ever made. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Poor boobs.
It was pretty good.
Thank you.
Pretty nice. And Master of Puppets also came in with the $50 direct donation. Says, "I just want video games to be normal again, just like us normal men." That's
yes.
Because at the end of the day, we're just normal men.
We're just normal men.
What do you mean, normal men?
We're just innocent men.
It's the best. BX is like, "What the hell's happening?"
She's like,
I
"Why
know,
am I
I've seen
here?"
all these memes. I know what's going on. I
Okay.
pay attention.
Love it. Well, thank you guys very much. Look at that. Look at those right there. They're going on the wall. We're going to go with green today, right there. Love to see that. Right off the bat, Blabs, please read off Cajun Corey's.
All right. Corey says, "Sequin Dallas, Craig Blabs. Do you know what a balcoozy is? Also, boobs. No, should I know what that is? Sounds like a jacuzzi, but it's a balcoozy instead. I don't know. Does anyone know what that is?
Jacuzzi.
Nope.
No, nobody knows. Okay, well, thanks, Corey.
Val Kilmer's jacuzzi. What?
I don't know. These kids.
I'm
these
probably
days.
not going to Google it right now. Maybe
No,
later.
I don't want to.
Probably.
I'm tired of
Yeah,
Googling
I would do
stuff.
that with the safe search on.
Yeah. The incognito browser.
Yes. Anyway, Marksman says, "Craig, Game Pass makes $3 to $4 billion a year, but Xbox spent $70 to $100 billion on studios. Add-in costs and major licensing, and they are deep in the red."
Yeah, we talked about Game Pass yesterday. Had a clip go up on the channel today, and Game Pass is just this weird thing that I think is ultimately going to fall on its face. I really think that in the next 2-3 years, they're going to be like, "Well, we tried, and that's going to be Xbox. And Xbox will go away because they're spending so much money on everything." It's insane.
Microsoft Gaming's not going to go away, but Xbox definitely is in danger of that. They bet it all on Game Pass, which is, for the record, like, I have Game Pass. I like it. It's great if you're a streamer. Oh my god, it's great.
Yeah.
You have your pick of the litter or whatever, but it just, seems like people are kind of married to their Nintendos, and there are people who would buy anything, any box containing any item, provided there's a PlayStation logo on it. We've learned that this generation. So.
You're not wrong. Mark's Man of 117B says, I weigh 30 tons. I carry 120 millimeter anti-personal cannon, travel 32 kilometers per hour. I navigated streets like a wheelchair. I am food delivery bot urban mech. All right.
Wonder if you'll be vandalized by urban youth like the Amazon bots.
By the way, speaking of wheelchairs, is it true that in Black Ops 6 they're doing like wheelchair stuff?
What?
Yeah, I saw that. There's like a cutscene of Frank Woods returns in a wheelchair, and I'm like, are they gonna have ramps and things? I don't know if it's real or not. That's why I didn't really talk about it.
No, that can't be real. There's no way that you can play a campaign and or multiplayer match as a person in a wheelchair.
Well, that's why I'm wondering. I'm like, this can't.
Why
be
wouldn't they just
real.
give him robotic legs?
Right.
Yeah,
Finally, war is wheelchair accessible. Fantastic.
I'm a Google.
Put some rockets on the back of it or something. I'm just saying, like, make it awesome, make it float, or do some sort of crazy tech. I'm just saying. That's insane. If
Yeah,
that's
they show Frank Woods in a wheelchair.
Well, okay.
But I don't know if that's playable,
Maybe some commander or something. He's like, when I walked around, I could do this. Now you do it too. And
there he is.
Look, he's so upset. Oh man.
Yeah. Lieutenant Dan.
Will and Through Life with Brian, do you feel represented with that? All of our wonderful normal men who are in wheelchairs. Do y'all feel represented now that you've seen him in a wheelchair? I hope you do. Good for you. Our
audience is handicapped, so
in some way, shape, or form. Yes. I need to ask, guys, in the best case scenario, if Sweet Baby Inc. firms are completely rooted out of the game industry, the ideology that motivated them would still remain. How should that be dealt with? Fire everybody. Elon Musk it and fire everybody. And like, I think the video game industry could have the great culling and lose 80% of its staff, and it would still be just fine. It would be totally fine, and it would really drive independence as well, independent stuff. So yes, 100% fire everybody. And yes,
I mean, I'm like hesitant to say this because some people got really mad at me, but I had to bring up the DHS grant funding situation underpinning all of that too. I think it's really important that people have to acknowledge that a lot of these industries, like the last time I was on here, we talked about the DHS stuff, and it's the same thing. This is underpinning all of that. So we really do need to address the fact that a lot of these are counterterrorism, basically LARPing is counterterrorism initiatives. So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. It's very, very deep. It's even deeper than just the private industries going woke.
Right. Well, and it's also because when you have a government agency that has a temporary mandate, which like all of them do, like none of them are supposed to be permanent. FBI was supposed to take care of Al Capone and then go away. How's that going, right? But whenever it's very convenient when you can label half of the country domestic terrorists, because
yes,
it gives you a lot of things to do, and it gives you a lot of public funding.
Yes, and it gives you basically free reign to censor people who you can somehow wheelhouse into that domestic terrorism category, which now is everybody, all of us.
Right.
So.
Congratulations, you freaks. Look what happened. It's great. By the way, nice shirt, BX.
Thank you.
Love that. I saw there was a picture of you like in Austin where you're standing on like Main Street or whatever it is with the Capitol behind you.
Yeah. That was a real picture. That was from like 10 years back. But yeah, we actually cleared out like Congress and took that picture.
Nice.
Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Like superhero epic style.
Yeah, it's nice. How'd you clear out the street? Did you?
Well, we did it at like 5 a.m. and we had police there who were helping us out. But honestly, there were still cars coming. We had to just like time it
Right.
to
In
where we
Austin, you
get-
could just shout INS. Like,
Well, I was actually curious how you got rid of all the homeless people. That was,
Well, you know, like, I mean, honestly, like the homeless problem has boomed over the last like maybe 5-6 years. So being that was like 7 or 8 years ago, there were slightly less, but that specific part of Congress too is a little bit ritzier. So there's a lot, there's less of that.
Emperor Creatine says this Black Ops 6 is going to shape up to be Norm Macdonald's favorite Call of Duty game. Will we see him walking through blood and bones in the street of Manhattan trying to find his brother? Thanks, Emperor Creatine. Appreciate that. And also, Dat Pie over there says, if I had a nickel for each WWE Hall of Fame convicted this year, I'd have 2 nickels. Doesn't that sound like much? But it's weird. It's happened twice. What are you talking about? What happened to a WWE Hall of Famer?
Sonny and Donald Trump.
Oh, it's right. There you go. So I guess no Battle of the Billionaires 2 anytime soon. Hashtag Tony Clown. That's funny. It's funny. Yeah, good stuff. I didn't even realize that. He is a WWE Hall of Famer, isn't he? That is so bizarre. All right, Blabs, what do we have today? By the way, we do see all your super chats, all your direct donations, all of your Rumble rants, including the wonderful LASIK, who came in with the $25 Rumble rant. Says, hail from Finland to y'all. Thank you all for what you do, and thank you, Razor, for being for your books. Bought and read them all, and received a notification that Ghost of Badlands is on the way. Let's go! Thanks,
cool.
Lasky.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. That's awesome. All right, we will get to every single one of those before the stream is over. But first, let's do a little today in gaming history, Blabs.
All right, so it's June 4th. So Rock and Roll Racing was released 31 years ago.
That is a killer game.
Yes,
I
it
figured
is.
you guys would like that one. Nintendo DS web browser is 17 years old. Wow. And then Evangelion Joe is 15 years old, releasing back in 2009.
Older than its protagonist.
Yes. And also 20 years of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. I had to say it. The movie.
Thank you, Blabs. That's wonderful. Rock and Roll Racing, a phenomenal 16-bit racing title from back in the day. That's like one of those underrated gems that before you had like CD soundtracks, they had Bad to the Bone playing in the background.
Right.
It's like, oh, this is the best thing ever.
It's like 16-bit breaking the law. And they're like, what?
Yeah. It's like, yeah, let's go. Anyways, today in gaming history is brought to you by our friends over at Zydax PCs. If you guys are in the market for a PC, consider checking them out. The link is in the description. They are all made in America. They all have customer support in America, and we love that. So if you're looking for a custom PC or a pre-built PC, they'll get you hooked up. They will take care of you. They mostly work in customs, but definitely check it out. If you're in the market, consider checking out Zydax PCs. Make sure you use our link in the description below. All right, we got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to dig in deep because BX has some serious stuff. We're going to dig into this other stuff going on with Star Citizen as well. So right now it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everybody in the world's favorite segment. It's time for Hard News. Hard News. You know, probably the biggest and most important news that I have is that I don't have my glasses, and it really bothers me that I don't have them on today. So I'll need to disperse and grab them very shortly. But first, you know, let's dig into this stuff that's going on over on X, because this is BX. We're gonna toss this softball up and let you hit a grand slam here with this, because I think this is important to talk about, because one of the big selling points since Elon Musk has come on is he said, now you're able to monetize your content. For the first time on X, you're no longer just posting into the wild. You're going to get paid for your content. People are like, yeah. Then we saw this, content farming where people were like, what would you do in this situation? And people like boost all these things. And the idea is that you had to get 10 million impressions of your content in a month to be able to monetize your content, which, by the way, is stupid. It's just a stupid amount. 10 million impressions.
I mean, it's basically just one viral post, and then you don't have to meet the requirement every month. So a lot of people ended up getting it incidentally.
Right.
So you pop off and you're ready to go. But there is a new, brand new, I guess, rule that's being put in place over on X coming July 1st at the end of this month. And BX, I'm going to let you kind of talk about this here.
Yeah, so I like the way you opened by saying, "Oh, they lured you in with promises of money." They gave you that nice little taste of the carrot there right before rolling out. Oh, by the way, if you like getting paid and you want to keep getting paid, then this is what you're going to be, faced with. You're going to be faced not only with ID verification, but with biometric verification. That biometric verification, as it turns out, is owned by a very sketchy company called Authentics, which is actually owned by Israeli intelligence, people who were former Israeli intelligence.
Wow.
This Israeli company that's like, I mean, and this is, this isn't what you think it is. I mean, this is worse than you think it is, right? Israeli intelligence has just this nasty reputation for surveillance and information gathering, and they're like notorious for it. So it's not a trustworthy company to give your biometric data to. Don't do it. Do not. I have issues already with ID verification requirements. And I think we might have talked about this a little bit last time. We were touching on like the Twitch child safety stuff, right? Child safety, child online safety bills sound really good in virtue and in theory, but in reality, they sneak things in there that really do threaten privacy. And then they disguise it as, well, don't you care about children, right? Like the classic. And so, the ID verification requirements are already kind of concerning, especially in the sense that they're being rolled out countrywide with like the Real ID program, which has been hotly debated. Now, so this identity verification step is already kind of concerning. And then you add the biometric data that's going to the Israeli company to protect your safety and security, obviously, right? Because we all know there's definitely no dangers with exchanging your freedom for safety.
Right.
And so, I want to point this out here. If you could scroll down a little bit, because after I posted this, I found out that not everybody got these same terms, which is kind of crazy. So my terms say something slightly different. My terms say, I agree to X and Authentics using images of my ID and my selfie, including extracted biometric data to confirm my identity and for related safety, security, fraud prevention, and payment purposes, which is like superfluous. That's not just identity verification. We don't know what that is.
Right.
And then it says Authentics may store such data for up to 30 days. X may store your full name, address, and hashes of my document ID number for as long as I participate in the creator subscription or ad revenue share program. So I quote tweeted Elon Musk, Elon Musk was talking about, why would we have your address? Sir, it's right there. It literally says it. And apparently not everybody had this statement. I don't know why they decided that my full name and address would be stored, but personally, I do my best to not give anyone access to that information, X or any social media platform included. So I think I sent you a tweet earlier today, I was like thinking back on this, and this is actually pretty crazy. But back in 2020, Parler, if you remember the Parler platform, I hesitantly decided to join Parler. And I kind of had a tiff between me and one of the staff members at Parler because they wanted ID verification for like DMs, like standard features. And I said, no, why would you need my ID photograph? That doesn't seem safe at all. She went back and forth with me about how safe it was and how they only store it for 30 days, etc. And I tweeted this right here on November 20th, 2020, that predicted that Parler would have a massive data breach. Well, 2 months later, right after the Capitol riot, there were some hacktivists that took all of the data from Parler and assembled it into a list of right-wing accounts that they suspected of being at the Capitol on January 6th. And that data breach included the photocopies of the IDs that people had given to Parler. So it was mind-blowing to me that this actually happened, and it was easily foreseen. You could predict this. And so now, to see X doing the same thing, it's like, we've already seen this, literally repeating itself right in front of us. So yes, bad actors. And I know a lot of people were pushing back at me. I jumped in a space the other day that I saw some people in. There were like a bunch of like big, there's like all these big creator accounts, but you don't know who they are. You've never seen them before, but they have like 800,000 followers. And then, like Elon Musk, we love X in their profile and stuff. Well, I hopped in there and I started asking these questions, and they're like, well, it's probably for tax purposes. It's probably for this. I'm sure it's fine. And I'm like, no, it's not. And here are the reasons why it's not fine. Like, this is not okay. And they kept kind of just trying to dissuade me from being concerned about it. Anyways, I think it's very interesting, first of all, that they're requiring, your address for no reason. And I was going to say, like, a lot of people on that space had this attitude that I see a lot, which is like, well, the government can find you anyways if they really want to. So just give them all your data. Like, first of all, just because they can doesn't mean they should, or that you should make it easy, right? And the second thing is that we're not just worried about the government. This isn't necessarily just a big conspiracy thing. This is just basic cybersecurity, privacy concern. You don't want your data to be stolen by bad actors, hackers, cyber criminals. All it takes is one exploit to lose all of your data and have it published on some right-wing, what do they call it? Right-wing watch kind of account.
Right.
Mislabeled you as a terrorist, and now you're getting doxxed.
Yeah.
So yeah, really scary stuff.
Facebook normalized all this stuff with the, to get into your account, you've got to upload a copy of your ID and all that like ridiculousness. Like one time I got locked out of my account because I hadn't sent them a photo scan of my ID. It was funny because it was right after I had reported a post that was like basically calling for communist revolt and an assassination from someone. And then, all of a sudden I need an ID to get into my account. It's like, that's curious. So here's what I did. I photoshopped a fake ID. And what'll happen is if you upload that, you can get into your account long enough to shut it down. So that's exactly what I did on Facebook.
That I posted like a little clip of like Mission Impossible 3 or whatever, where they're doing like they're like taking pictures of the guy trying to get his face. I'm like, this is literally the links we're trying to figure out how far do we have to go to fake this? Because the thing is, like, not only do you have to have the fake ID, but now you have to do the biometric, which is almost impossible to get around with AI. Although people are probably trying, and I'm listening. But at the same time, I'm not willing to give that information. And I think that it's very concerning that they're being sneaky about it, right? Like they've got these terms that are very, straightforward with the concerning things in there. And yes, there we go. Yes, first we buy Twitter, say we're against free speech and say we're free speech and against censorship. So say all the extremist things you want, guys, everyone all at once. Yeah. And then, they're actually still shadow banning people, still implementing the tweet cred system, which is basically a social credit score. And now they're collecting biometric data for our safety. And, I'd say about biometric data too, you give your biometric data to lots of places. And I know people are going to be like, well, you're right here live. We can see your face. And that's true. But that's not the same thing necessarily as using it to encrypt your devices and accounts, right? The really big problem with biometric data is that even if it's stored locally for 30 days, that's not telling us that they're not also using that to train, facial recognition technology and things of that nature, which is definitely a big concern that's happened. And unfortunately, it's looking more and more like it's something that's going to happen whether we like it or not, because the technology exists and there's just no way to stop it. But we need these watchdogs. We need people who are saying, wait, stop and think before you give this company all of your personal data. I don't know if we ever really talked about all of the stuff that I've been in, but I mean, I've basically been at the front lines of exposing a terror organization. It's a pedophile network. I won't get into it too much, so I don't want to bum everybody out, right? But it's real, and it's also connected to this network of people who get paid to dox and SWAT people. So there's networks of cyber criminals that do this. They're little script kiddies. They're like kids, and they're getting arrested and going to jail for like 40 years. Like, it's kind of crazy to see, because they're hacking government databases and doing crazy shit. But there's a specific exploit that I wanted to make people aware of. It's called an EDR, an electronic data request. So basically, if law enforcement thinks you're about to go commit a terrorism, right? They can go to Twitter and say, we need this user's information and we don't have time to get a subpoena or a warrant because people are about to die. And Twitter has a habit of just giving them that information as long as they have an official government email. Well, what's happening is that these kids are figuring out how to spoof government emails and trick Twitter into thinking that they're law enforcement and socially engineering or pretexting their way into getting your information. So I have been threatened with this personally. I had these terrorists it's hard to call them terrorists because they're just little kids, right? But 18-year-old kids, but they can do a lot of damage, a lot of harm to you with that. So I started getting threats saying that I was going to get EDR'd, and I didn't know what that was. Well, I had to file a police report about it because these guys were no joke. Like, these guys are very serious. What
were they coming after you for? That's the one thing I don't understand. What were they? Why were they upset about you?
So it was when
let me break out the list, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's because, and if you go to my pinned tweet, it's like the second tweet on that thread. It's the 764 network and the Kyle Spitz. You remember that video of the guy who got shot in the ear and you can see like down the barrel of the gun and like his stepdad shoots him and then you see like the blood drop on the floor. And it's like this, you would know the video if I showed it to you. You'd be like, oh yeah, that video, I saw it randomly because everyone was sharing it. Well, it turns out that the guy who got shot in the ear was part of this pedophile network. It's an child abuse and extortion network. And so I figured this all out, and I was the first person to report on it. And so, and he's been arrested now on federal charges. He's going away forever, but that kid's never getting out of jail. But at the time it was breaking and nobody really, a lot of people were calling me crazy conspiracy theorist, as tends to happen.
Right.
And I was like, no, this is objectively real. Right. Well, his terrorist friends who are also, child abuse, extortion freaks, they were threatening me because I was reporting the story, and they were scared because they didn't want their friend to get nabbed because now they're all going down. And since then, at least 2 of those people who were threatening me are now in jail and gone.
Jeez.
So yeah, they were right to be afraid. But so those were the guys who were threatening me. It's all on my pinned tweet thread. But anyways, so when I called the police, they let me know, no, like, this EDR thing is real, and it's a serious concern that you could be swatted or whatever, doxed onto the dox bin or whatever. And so that's when I started to realize, like, wow, this is pretty sketchy. So any information that Twitter has on you is up for grabs, not only to these criminals, but to law enforcement. Yeah. So you got to really think about that.
Especially with how ideological law enforcement has become, never mind their unions, never mind the intelligence agencies that they now cooperate with. Like, that's a little alarming.
Yeah.
Man, this is such like, every time you're on, we go down this rabbit hole that I'm not like at all.
I'm normal. This is normal.
I have a fitted tinfoil hat. We're ready for
it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's normal to be threatened by satanic pedophile networks that are actually real. Totally.
Well, kind of further on the X side of things, this was news that came down this morning, and kind of honestly disheartening, shocking, if you will. The idea that X is formally allowing like more content on the platform.
Right.
X has updated its rules to officially permit consensually produced adult content, including AI-generated media without or with proper labeling. This change aligns with Elon's previous experiments and could lead to new service similar to OnlyFans. Regulators are expected to scrutinize X's handling of non-consensual consult and child sex abuse material.
Just gets worse.
She's just said like pedophile like 15 times. I don't think you need to mutter it, Craig. I think you're demonetized.
Sorry, I know that it's hard on YouTube. But I hear people in chat were saying like, please. BX is going to get your stream cut off again.
Right. Right. Well, this is I'm more because my kids are.
Right. Good point. Good point. Yeah. I can only assume Elon just decided to steer into the porn bot skid here. I don't know what exactly is the thought process.
If you can't beat them,
Am I the only person that noticed that when he took over, that all became exponentially worse?
Yeah.
Don't you find that odd?
Oh,
that
man.
It suddenly became worse. And now the only way to get around it, guys, is to pay us and submit your ID verification.
Yeah.
This Hegelian situation going on.
I can post like a Bible verse and the first 10 replies are some porn bots genitals. Like what is going on here exactly? I don't understand. And people have tried to go down the rabbit hole. There's been some recent stories. I forget exactly where they traced it back to. It's some like fake like stream girl farm or something that's behind a lot of the porn bots. I forget who it was. TDS master of TDS or whatever. Yeah, TDS, he did a whole expose into this.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It sounds familiar.
He's been very good about the bot side of things. As Master Gawa says, they care about the children like Epstein and Maxwell, his Mossad lover handler did. My ex gets locked for liking patriotic posts and quote conspiracies. That's right.
My ex got locked for speaking out about the bots that were spamming CSAM. Which is, PDF content. I'm trying to like be kosher for you, right? But once I started speaking out about it,
words.
I don't know how to say it earlier. Call it CSAM, right? Abuse material. Very serious problem where bots were spamming it 200 times per minute. That we found a bot farm that was doing this. And there were ads running. So X was technically counting this as site traffic and potentially even getting paid for it. And we tried to escalate this behind the scenes. And I even ended up talking to journalists and trying to give this to like other, people with more cred than me. Cause I don't like to break stories. Like I'm a spaz, like I'm retarded. Okay. Like I don't like, I'm not good at releasing information because I'm generally a very non-serious person who comes across it. And I want to give it to somebody who can do the story right. But my ex account ended up getting yeeted after I started speaking up about this for 10 weeks. It was gone. And then it just came back one day and I went into my data. You can check if you've gotten a ban or a TOS violation in your data. Nothing. No indication as to why they took out my account. And so, so that's already a problem. The child exploitation networks that I was talking about earlier are prolific on X, and there is some egregious content that they're not moderating properly. Then you add into the fact that they've got, a problem with porn and spamming porn already, right? To me, the obvious solution is just to remove porn from the platform completely. It would solve so many problems if they could just auto ban people who were posting porn. But of course they won't do that because number one, they make money from it. And number two, now they can use it to get your ID verification, right?
Yeah. And the porn is a pretext too. It links back to like trafficking stuff and whatever. Like they're not selling porn, gang. It's like selling sex on the internet's like trying to sell a space heater on the sun. They've got like it links back to weird e-girl like streamer farms and God knows what data collection like that. This is not just some, we're advertising porno. Like, trust me, porno on the internet doesn't need advertisement.
Yeah, I always wondered that, like, who clicks on these? Like, your sister thinks I'm sexy, I should click your link. Yeah, like, how often does that act? Does it work enough for them to make it profitable? That's interesting. You said that it could just be like a guise for like data farming, because I don't know that enough people fall for those kind of scams to make it worthwhile.
Right, exactly. I mean, kids, unfortunately, school kids are ambling around with portable porn computers in their pockets. So, like, trust me, nobody's having difficulty finding porn in 2024. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what.
If Ted Bundy was correct and early exposure to porn turns you into a serial killer, can you imagine, like, in the future, half the kids are going to be Hannibal Lecter?
Scary stuff.
There was porn when we were kids too, though.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're
But
not out serial killers.
You had to
but
search for
probably kinkier now. I don't know.
it. Hey, Candy Sanchez, because I made a new X account for my YouTube channel that I'm starting up this weekend. I was suspended within 10 minutes of creating the account with no explanation. Candy.
That's happened to me before too. It's just a glitch, and like you can appeal it probably. It's like they think that you're a computer or something, usually when that happens.
That's crazy. Well, look, BX, we appreciate you really digging into this today. You are a jewel of information, and I love how you just don't stop. It's great. Good for you.
Yeah, I mean,
we need like her own theme music, like Twilight Zone theme or something.
Yeah.
what would that be? What
gotta
would
get
that
that going.
be?
Some
What would you do,
investigative
the Twilight
type
Zone?
music.
Right.
I got
I
it.
investigate
No,
the
no, no,
weirdest,
no.
fringest corners of the internet.
Robert Stack, Unsolved Mysteries theme. There we are.
Oh,
Right.
I was
that's a
thinking
good
more like
one.
Sherlock Holmes.
Yes.
The BBC Sherlock Holmes theme. That's
That's like distinguished. I like that idea too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you can check out my pinned tweet thread. I've got like basically I went ahead and just put everything that I've investigated over the last year into a tweet thread so people can like see it in one place, because I got tired of having to search for it. But some interesting stuff in there, stuff that people no one else really reporting on. But that doesn't mean it's not important, you know. So go check it out, and I appreciate you guys letting me come on and conspiracize for you.
I feel like we need to have an entire like.
What is that, like the name of the Alex Jones workout tape? What is that?
I can
All
make
right, everyone,
I
conspiracize.
can make a compilation of me screaming
Yeah.
like a Super Saiyan. Ah!
That's great stuff. Well, everyone can find you over. The link is in the description if you guys want to go follow BX over on X, and continue to. And I guess in your mind, you're kind of in the belly of the beast when you're kind of targeting this stuff while still being on the platform. You know, you still need to be on it.
There's anything darker or deeper than this where I'm at. It's actually pretty. It's crazy. It's intense. So if you're not into like intense stuff, then maybe wait for a time when you're like about to listen to a true crime podcast and you're like in that kind of mental state. Don't do it
When
in
you
the
got
morning.
dead
It'll ruin your day.
inside, Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for hopping in today. Really appreciate it. We'll let you roll, but thank you very much for your time, effort, and doing what you do. Everyone needs to go follow you over on X.
Yeah, BX_on_X. I appreciate you guys. Nice to meet you,
Love it.
Razor.
Yeah, it was great to meet you.
All
Bye.
right, BX. We'll see you
Bye,
soon.
BX.
All right, man. No, she is killer, man. She really goes down the rabbit holes, and like I said, the rabbit holes that nobody else does. And they may be, they may not be the biggest rabbit holes, but they are deep, if that makes sense. It's amazing stuff. So
I like where you're going here, Craig.
yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I was trying to find a way to bring it all together. It didn't work out very
It's
well.
not the size of the rabbit hole, it's how you use it. Like what?
That's right. That's right. Use the rabbit hole good. Do it
Alarming.
slow. Hey, Ian came in with a $50 euro monies. He says, writes
It's
down.
British pounds. Jesus Christ. Don't insult him like that.
Writes down.
Why wouldn't you insult the British? Come on.
Because they got enough going on already that they don't need to be insulted by Americans.
That's true. That's true. The machete
Cut him some
attack.
slack. I help you, Ian. I help.
Ian. Ooh.
There
Thank
you
you. Writes down. Like selling space heaters on the sun. There it is right there. You're
There
a
we
lyrical
are.
poet. You didn't know it, Razor. There you go. Ian, thank you very much for that ridiculous.
Well, you know what that means, right? For the $50 or 50 British pounds.
Show it to him. Yeah, there we go. Let him know.
Yeah.
Let's go. Here's your reward, Ian.
What were you saying, Craig? We couldn't pay attention. Sorry.
What?
What now?
Oh my gosh. TRSK says, Craig, you'll get another yellow mark of sadness. Oh yeah. I have resigned to the idea that pretty much every show will be demonetized by YouTube, and just kind of the way it goes.
It's just not a YouTube video for me anymore without the yellow anti-monetization.
Right.
Honestly, usually it's red. Let's be real.
Really, you get the red, huh?
Oh, all the time. Oh my god.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez. We're not there yet. We've only had one.
I found out that I should have said this while we were in the rabbit hole zone, that my several of my videos may have been taken down by the Arizona Secretary of State
Oh, wow.
by an official
Yikes.
request of my own government. So,
That's nuts.
that's good
Yikes.
time.
Well, we're going to get into Star Citizen in just a minute. Talk about teeing things up. We're going to let Razor go crazy on Star Citizen here in just a few minutes.
boy.
But first, Victus Omega came in and says, here, take my Game Pass monies, y'all. I'd rather it go to folks I enjoy watching every day. Also, greetings, BX, and Godspeed, Razor. Victus, thank you very much for your support and your Gamer Pass money. Love that. Love that. Kaya says, stop infantilizing 18-year-olds. Failed and dumb adults are still adults. This is true. This is true. But I still think you're going to be an adult while still being a kid, you know, if that makes sense.
I like Legos. Case
Speaking
in
of-
point.
Yeah.
Alan came in with the 10, says, I lost my Instagram account that I had since 2012 for making Save the Children post and where we go when we go back in August of 2020, had over 2,000 followers over those years, lost those connections. Sorry, Alan, that sucks. That's the way it goes. You got to toe the company line, baby. Toe the company line. And Iron Age Media just came in with the $20 direct donation. Says if any normal men are tired of social media insanity, and will be at the Rippaverse meetup this weekend, you can grab a free copy of Anvil #1 with minor print defects while they last. Enjoy some great indie fiction and preview of Ghost of the Badlands. There you go, Iron Age Media. Thank you very much. Yeah, this weekend it's going to be fun out there in Dallas. Make sure you guys meet us up. I'll be out there. It's going to be good. Also, Link Fan picked up the brand new our June Pride merchandise. Thank you so much, Link Fan, for picking up the American Pride t-shirt. Also, Gravity Hertz picked it up. Says you should have Kyle on the show one of these days. We'll love to have Kyle on the show. And Lazon Rune came in, picked up the American Pride t-shirt. Says, picking up the shirt for myself and my bro, just normal men supporting sane gaming discussions. Hey, thank you very much. Appreciate that. That is spectacular. And also, not to be outdone, Left Cross just picked up the Let Us Skateboard t-shirt that my daughter designed. Let's go. Thank you so much, Left Cross. You guys can pick up those shirts in the description down below. Oh, check it out. Also, Beardface picked up the American Pride cap. It says, I need those jiggly milk cannons. All right. Thank you very much, Beardface. All right.
I hope you know those aren't included with your order.
It's true. It's true.
Craig ships him 2 bags of sand. It's just like the same thing.
It's the same thing. That's right. All right. Once again, we'll get to every single Rumble Rant, direct donation, super chat before the end of the stream. Thank you guys very much for all that. It's awesome. All right, let's get into this. This story came out last week, and it's been an ongoing story for years, literally years. As I go back on the Razor Fist YouTube, Rageaholic YouTube channel, I find a video from 5 years ago from you.
Longer than that, I've been talking about it. Yes, absolutely.
Well,
that's my most recent one.
From 5 years
some
ago.
say still has that cup behind him.
It's true.
The Whataburger cup right there.
Whataburger, baby.
But this is about Star Citizen. And this article came out from IGN a few days ago. And it says, Star Citizen pushes through the $700 million raised mark. And no, there still isn't a release date here. Now, before we started the show, people saw the title. And some people are ridiculous Star Citizen stans. Like, they love this game. They will go to battle for this game. And they began.
I had one. I had one of those fans after I recorded my first rant. The guy sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger on codeine. He recorded a reply video. It was utterly retarded. And by the way, that was like 10 years ago. The guy was coping then. I think one of the exact things the guy said was, nobody complains about Cyberpunk 2077 not being released yet, because that one took a long time. It was like, really? No one complained? Wasn't Cyberpunk 2077 like one of the biggest Like, seriously, wasn't it the biggest like category 5 shitstorm in the history of gaming? Yes, actually, that didn't turn out very well either. So how much worse is that going to be for Star Citizen exactly? But yeah, we'll go ahead and talk about it.
Well, this is pretty interesting. And IGN breaks down its revenue very well in this article, broken down by the hour. It says so it's Cloud Imperium Games, and they're the developer behind the controversial Space Sim, makes revenue publicly available on its website, which at the time this article's published, our publication showed Star Citizen at the $701,186,615 mark.
Right.
CIG calls the money funds raised. Now,
Well, and that is telling actually, because in the video that you just showed that I had recorded like 5 years ago, I think they were just rounding the corner on 600 million or something. So it's taken them a while to get from 600 to 700. They've slowed down, and like significantly. Which tells me they're probably subsisting on whales. As I pointed out, I think in that video, Chris Roberts, who's the guy who's running the whole show, he had actually secured like 2 big investors, which was something that he said he was crowdfunding in order to avoid. Then he goes out and hunts down 2 big investors to work. So that might also be a factor. But like they have slowed way, way, way down on the fundraising. As crazy as that number is, the game's been in development like 12 years or something.
As it says right here, yeah, over the 12 years since its crowdfunding began. I mean, think about how much the world has changed in 12 years. And let's also put that in another verbiage. In the last decade and 2 years since development began, 12 years, over a decade. So in 2012, what were you doing in 2012, Razor? Like, Blabs, you were what?
Right.
I was in 10th grade.
Right.
Well,
right.
And that was when it was revealed. They apparently did like a whole preamble development before that, like 2009, 2010. Seriously, when this game started to develop, well, actually put it this way, kids who were born the year Star Citizen began development are now freshmen or sophomores in high school.
Jeez.
That kind of puts it all in perspective.
All right, so they're approaching Star Citizen Alpha 4, right? But this is all building up to Star Citizen 1.0, which Roberts, the CIG chief, the chief over at that, says, which Roberts says is what we consider the feature and content set to represent, quote, commercial release. However, there's still no release date or even a release window for Star Citizen 1.0. CIG will share a roadmap later this year, he has said. So that's
not true. They announced the release date was holiday of 2015, which I'm sure we'll be passing any day now.
Wait for it.
But you always get they've always got some kind of reason why it hasn't come out. And like, fair enough, games are done when they're done. But, you know, they've announced several release dates and didn't meet them. And there's kind of two games being released at once. There's the appropriately named PU, Persistent Universe, and there is Squadron 42. Squadron 42 is the single player game. Squadron 42 is what I wanted. I didn't even care about the multiplayer crap. Squadron 42 is just Wing Commander. That's what it is. I love Wing Commander. I've always loved that series. It's basically just a new Wing Commander game. It even has Mark Hamill in it. So it's just a classic Wing Commander game. Yeah. And that's the one people have been saying, like, oh, that'll come out first. And it's like, apparently they've shifted members of that development over to the Persistent Universe module, which was supposed to be taken at a good sign, or as a good sign, rather. But that was like over a year ago, and we haven't heard anything since. So I don't know if the plan at this point is we'll only release Squadron 42 when the Persistent Universe version of Star Citizen, the massively multiplayer online Star Citizen, is actually available, and try and really blow people away. Maybe that's the thought process. I really don't know. But from launch modules to complete version upgrades to the Great White Rhinoceros known as Squadron 42, about the only thing over the course of this 12-year development cycle that Star Citizen has never failed to deliver is excuses. It's over and over and over again. They miss a date, excuse. Miss a date, excuse. And it got to the point where they had to implement a roadmap. I mean, process this for a beat. It was almost a decade before they even had a development roadmap available for people to look at. So they could have been doing anything in that time.
I really want to push this home. Like if you go to their website, and this is just crazy to see, right? They have their website. You can break down their funding per hour, broken down per day, per hour. Here we go. This is in the last day, by the way. So in the last day, broken down per hour, at its height, it made $15,000 an hour. Right. At its lowest, it made less than just about $7,000 an hour. Yeah. Okay. So this is continuing on. Now, if you go back, if you continue to scroll down,
you see there, those spikes correspond with major announcements, right? I wonder every time I see a Star Citizen announcement, the first thing that comes to mind is that true, or are they just trying to get the game out there again so they get more donations? Because like in you see a spike there in late 2015, and that's when they announced the game was going to come out, right? And you see that again and again over the course of the timeline.
Well, okay, this is the monthly breakdown for revenue. Right. So last month, I guess this is April, I guess. I don't know. It's going up April 4. I guess that'd be April, May. So in May, they made $25 million, something like that, right? Which is a jump over the last 6 months. It had dropped down to about $4 million a month, but they're still generating $4 million a month. Look at the campaign start. It started on December 23rd, 2012.
Yeah.
And their first stretch goal was at $2.5 million.
PS4 wasn't out yet, folks.
Right. Right. And I think that's the one thing, like, what were you playing? Your 3DS at the time, you know?
Resident Evil 6, I think I was getting ready to review.
But they continue here. As you scroll down, like you can see there's always an extra stretch goal. Always an extra stretch goal. It's 5 million, 10 million. And they're generating this money. You know, this is back in 2013. It took $1 million for between 13 million and $14 million. It took 2 months. That they're like, well, we can do this in 2 months. Well, they're generating that, like, you know, every $4 million low end on a month basis. You can see as you just continue to scroll, look at this just insanity that I continue to scroll down, and eventually they just stopped. They're like, yeah, you know, we're at 65 million. We don't need to have any more stretch goals. We don't need to add anything else to the game. Like, how do you? It just continues on and on and on and on and on. Enhanced ship modularity. Okay, need another $1 million for that. So I guess the bigger question here, as we're now passing $700 million in funds raised with 5 million Star Citizens here. Number one, how do you get sucked into this, right? How do you get so invested that 5 million people will invest $705 million?
You know, if you really want to make the Star Citizen fanboys heads explode, rather, there's a guy you should have on as a guest. He's also a video game developer, and that's Derek Smart. It'll make them furious because he's made similar games to Wing Commander, whatever. He has a little bit of a rivalry with Chris Roberts, but he's also one of the few people who was kind of reporting beat by beat what was going on early on in the development here, and he's kind of a meme in Star Citizen circles. But boy, that would be an interesting meeting, personally. But yeah, it just seems like they didn't. I mean, put it this way: they changed engines completely. When was that? 2015, 16? They changed to the Amazon. Whatever the Amazon video game engine is, they changed the game's engine completely. It's just wild when you start looking into this stuff. I think they've subsisted largely on whale donors, what are called whales. It's people who have a lot of disposable income, and fair enough. I'm not going to, far be it from me to judge that. I don't think those people are stupid. They see some promise in the game, more power to you as far as I'm concerned. But man, this is a long time to be developing a game. The most pertinent detail, though, was the one I pointed out, was how slowly they moved from 600 million to 700 million. There was a big deal made of them passing 600 million. Them getting to 700 million, it has actually slowed down, which I find slightly surprising.
Well, I think the bigger thing here is look, the word scam is thrown around. We use scam in the title today, right? I would just have a hard time wrapping my head around anything generating $100 million, right? And not having a product, a fully flushed out product, and people not being upset about it. Let alone
you can play Star Citizen. It's still in a largely unpresentable state. It's wild. Like, I got an RTX 4090 in my computer. It doesn't run very well still, and it's notorious for this. Even having a high end PC, it's not the best optimized game. There's clearly a lot of like junk code or something. It's just not a very well optimized game. Every time I've played Star Citizen, it's just chugged and had performance issues. It's not a smooth experience at all. But everyone focuses on the release date, and for good reason. Like, by the time Star Citizen releases, we'll all have our Star Citizenship. Like, we'll be playing it from a spaceship.
I think,
put it this way, John Travolta will come out before Star Citizen.
I think that it's just from the outside looking in, this does not seem above board. That's all. I think that's the biggest thing. I don't know how anybody could, and maybe it's I don't know enough about this, right? But I don't understand how you can have $700 million of anything. Like, you can say, hey, look at this. We're very transparent with the revenue that's our funding stats, right? But what is that?
Now they are. They didn't used to be. They would rattle off the number every year or 2 years or whatever, but they were remarkably opaque about the development for a long, like, they hired the lead designer on a game that I loved. It was a fan-made game, MechWarrior Living Legends. It was, this guy was pissed off at MechWarrior Online. Basically, it was kind of disappointing. And so he made this fan mod that was a proper MechWarrior game. And the reason they hired him was he was an expert in CryEngine. Quietly, like, I don't know, 2 years later or something, they just canned the guy and a bunch of other people. That's another part of this story that never gets talked about. There's been a ton of turnover. And it's like, why? The guy you hired was supposed to be an expert in CryEngine. So what happened there? And I think shortly thereafter, they wound up changing engines. It's based on CryEngine. Somebody in the chat mentioned that the Amazon engine or whatever is based on CryEngine, which is, all, by the way, notorious for having problems. I'm a huge fan of Hunt Showdown. That's based on CryEngine. It's from Crytek, for crying out loud. The guys who made the engine made the game, and they're having to upgrade the engine now because it has so many problems. So anyway.
Well, I think that, those are like, you see a lot of people who are really into this game, right? Hey, awesome. Love it. Right. I'll play it when it's out.
I am too. I am a huge fan of Chris Roberts. That's the weird position that I find myself in. Like, I'm glad that he's getting a chance to make his game, but it feels like this could have been handled differently. I think what everyone expected was Squadron 42. If that's your single player game, then that would come up. And when that came out, that would like raise enough hype that you would probably have gotten a bunch of donations, and then you could have finished the massively multiplayer, pie in the sky Star Citizen thing. And I think it may have even been intimated by Cloud Imperium Games. That's the developers of the games, for the record. At some point that was the plan for the release, to have it kind of staggered that way. Squadron 42 first, then Persistent Universe. At some point, they got completely opaque on that subject, and now we kind of don't know which is coming first or if they're coming all at once. But we do know that they've raised $700 million. They make sure to point that out.
Right. And I go back to like, where's that money going, right? How is that money being spent? They're saying, oh, it's development. Okay, cool. But like, I mean, I think that's the bigger question. How many games in gaming history have generated $700 million, period? Like total. It's got to be probably what, less than 50, maybe 20. I don't know. I could be, the Call of Duty games make $1 billion, right?
There was a big deal made out of, what was the game? But for perspective, there was a big deal made out of Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, costing $90 million. Which it was probably 3 times that with the marketing budget. They spent a lot on that, and Konami did indeed lose money on that game initially. But like, for perspective, that was on the higher end of AAA video games at that time, and kind of was the reason Hideo Kojima got kicked out of the company and blah, blah, blah. 90 million, 700 million. Like we're not even in the same ballpark at this point.
I think that's where I continue to go back to. Just looking at it from the outside in, right? Show me a roadmap. That's it. Just show me the roadmap. Just give me a release date. And if you miss it, okay, fine. Just put a release date down, And I know that people are very passionate about the game. Cool, love it, do your thing. That's awesome. But it doesn't.
People are pointing out GTA cost $2 billion. It's like first off, after marketing, and second off, that's because they had like 20 different studios working dawn to dusk. That's another thing about Cloud Imperium Games. They opened a studio in like California. They have like satellite studios all over the place, and they're in really expensive locations. It's not like they're going to like Montreal, where they give you tax breaks for opening a game studio. They open their studios in retarded places. And also, GTA 5 was what? The previous game that Rockstar had made was Red Dead Redemption. And that was 2009 or 10, right? GTA 5 came out in 2013. That's a slightly different development cycle.
So I have a list here of most expensive games ever cost here. And I'm just going to go down here and take a look at this real fast because thank you, Blabs. This is from Wikipedia over here, by the way. Let's go check this out. This is Genshin Impact apparently cost 700. I don't even know what this game, how that game could do that. Star Citizen number 2, the second highest development cost in history. I don't know where.
How did Genshin Go wind up costing that much?
Yeah, I don't know. Monopoly Go. I don't know. There's got to be something going on here. Cyberpunk, Call of Duty. I don't see GTA on here. Maybe I'm missing $2 billion of development costs. There's GTA 4, $100 million. Mm-hmm. So this is a.
Oh, come on! Would Star Citizen fans lie?
I don't know, Razor. I don't know, but they certainly are passionate about it, man. They're passionate about it. Well, let's get to
don't forget about that great big shindig that they spent backer money throwing in Germany or whatever. They had this great big convention that had this really elaborate set and whatever, and it was basically intended to kind of it was like a big celebration. They also are kind of famous for their weird indulgent stuff that they have at their studios. Like they have like an automatic space door at their studio that you see in some of their videos. And you're just like, is this the kind of stuff you should be spending money on when you haven't delivered a game in 12 years?
Wow. But if you have $700 million rolling in, why not? Right. Why not have space doors?
Why not?
Jeez.
It's good work if you can get it.
Yeah, right. Tell you what, it's funny to kind of see the response. Like I said, people are so mad. People get so mad about Star Citizen, and it's funny if you look on YouTube and just search Star Citizen, the first things you find are Star Citizen scam. Star Citizen is the biggest scam in history, and it's like those who are in it, they are in it, man. They care. They care, but to everyone looking on the outside, it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. $700 million. Don't have a game yet. Just saying. Just throwing it out there. So All right. Hey, John came
When
in.
when I released my first Star Citizen video, I think they were still a hop, skip, and a jump away from 100 million. Just for perspective, that was a long time ago, gang.
Yeah, that is nuts. 700 million. Blaz, welcome back.
Hi.
How about you read off some super chats for us as we look at this wonderful support?
All right. Well, you had one from Jono. We'll just read that one real fast. Jono says, I think a saving grace that Star Citizen has is that full access to the game costs around $30 to $35. The core of the scam comes from the ships and their costs.
Yeah, they kind of, I talked about those in my videos, and this is sort of infamous. People, it's not really fair to say this because they do build some of the ships, although I don't think they've delivered all of them. But the meme online is they're selling you a JPEG. They'll have a full marketing campaign. Cloud Imperium Games, the one thing I will agree is scummy is Cloud Imperium Games were making like full high quality CGI trailers as if they were from a real spaceship manufacturing company of new spaceships that they were going to sell. And gang, they're spending that money for a reason. It's because people are buying the ships and buying them for prohibitive prices. And some of the prices on these ships were pretty clown shoes. They were retarded. I don't have the numbers offhand. I talked about them in my videos. It's been years, but it was pretty high prices on some of this stuff.
Umret says, came in says, when Chris Roberts started talking about making that game, Total Biscuit was still alive, for Christ's sake.
He talked about it a lot, yeah, didn't he? Rest in peace.
His wife is an X-rated actress. Okay, thank you. Here you go. Gamers Cafe.
Okay.
I'm a Star Citizen's backer, and I want to get to some of these. Instead of going to the top, I want to start at the bottom.
I know, I was grabbing them. It's fine.
Okay, go ahead, Blabs.
Yeah, that's right. Gamers Cafe for Australian 5 says, I am a Star Citizen backer, and I'll literally come on now and debate Razor about this. He is getting so much wrong.
Your funeral, precious.
Damn, bro. All right.
You wanna Razor? You wanna go crazy on Gamers Cafe?
I would love to. I can't do it today because I have to be on Gorka's radio show in like, I don't know, 35-40 minutes. But
okay,
yeah,
we'll be done before
this is one of those episodes where I'm actually gonna have to split a little bit early. But
okay, hey, Gamers Cafe, send me an email. Let's set this up. Maybe on a Tuesday coming up, we can have you and Razor come on, and we can debate Star Citizen. That'd be fun. I'll get a little bit more educated on and as far as being the mediator to that. Why not? Let's do it.
Anyway, sending a Stripe member for 6 months. If you want to hear from Star Citizen Defender side, DG360 or Space Tomato.
oh, it's an entire genre on YouTube. I call it the cope genre. It's like the problem with the Star Citizen Defense Force is you've all had previous statements that you said were going to happen and then didn't. Right? You were defending them not having a roadmap. Then they put out a roadmap and you said, well, see? It's like, no, wait, you just spent the last 7 years defending the fact that they didn't have a roadmap. So admit that you were full of shit the first time. Then we can progress on to the next talking point. You know what I mean? This is the problem, kind of. It's always a moving goalpost.
Vinny says, I've dropped close to $5,000 in a C, and I'm horrified at the state of the game after almost $1 billion in funding. If you question things, you get disappeared off their social platform. Wow.
Well, Vinny, I'm sorry that that's happened to you. With that said, if you'd like to drop $5,000 on us, we would really appreciate that.
Will?
I'll draw a picture of a spaceship. How about that?
Right now, I will finish the spaceship that I haven't started right here. I will draw it for you, Vinny, right now.
And he'll sign it too.
No?
Yeah. Razor had an excuse lined up so he could bail. And just to make the illusion really, really convincing, I went ahead and told Sebastian Gorka, mentally, by the way, to go air his radio show immediately after we go off the air. Blow it out your ass.
Ooh, feisty.
No, it was really elaborate, you fucking retard. I'm a Vulcan. We actually communicated telepathically. How do you clench your own ass without decapitating yourself?
Love
retards. Fucking Star Citizen. They ought to be. These fanboys ought to be purged. Jesus, face the wall.
Wow.
I think that's the bit extreme, bro. I'm just saying. That's a bit much.
The dude claimed that I had set up an excuse that incidentally is going to go on the air in 45 minutes.
You didn't, but an excuse for something that you didn't know was going to be suggested.
Right. Right. I was telepathic. I performed a mind meld on the retard who challenged me to a debate, and then I performed a mind meld on Sebastian Gorka and set up an appearance on a show I don't control. Retards!
That's funny.
Paint swilling, chest slapping, helmet bedecked, floaties in the shower. Fucking retards!
Facing the wall costs $5,000. Thank you very much. Anyway. God damn. Anyway, Captain Spire says, long since the glory days of Wing Commander and how that game got into my first 386 and 4 MB of RAM. What I wouldn't give for a Wing Commander MMO, the release of Privateer 3 and Erase the movie. There you go. Mamma mia.
Floaties in the shower. I'm sorry.
Anyway, OP Productions says Star Citizen is the Scientology of video games. That's funny. Wow. Anyway, Mastagawa says, I'm having trouble finding. In 2024, the industry went downhill since Max Hardcore's arrest. At least we still have Queen Snake bringing good stuff. Okay. Did we catch this one, Ian? Is that the one from before?
No, it just came in.
Woo! All right. Thank you so much, Ian. So forth gifted 10 Side Scrollers memberships after Razor's rant. Ew, woo.
I'll say this. You know, we apparently just from talking about this today, just having the discussion about this, we have upset people. we are the Star Citizen community is now labeled Side Scrollers as the bad guy. So just by having the conversation, so that's good. Hey,
I
everybody.
have no stake in the matter. Don't hate me. Thank you.
I know. There you go, Ian. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Wow. Nathan says, not a 1-for-1, but there's a game called Unreal World that's been in development since 1990, and the game is done and has actually made money. So how is it done but still in development? I don't understand that. You can't have both, right?
Unreal World? Huh,
Unreal World has been in development since 1990, but the game is done and actually has made money. So it's no longer in development if it's done and made money.
I don't know. That's amazing. Love it.
Jono comes back in and says, I backed SC between 24. Oh, he means backed. I backed SC between 2014 and 2016, increase of $10 to $20 to a total of $300. I'll help purge the fanboys with Razor. Just hand me a pew pew. Okay, Jono's going the extreme as well. Look at that. You guys both have long hair. It'll work. Sydney of Stripe says, maybe SC debate Defenders versus Razor.
Yes.
I'll debate Marvel's Defenders any day.
All right, awesome. Valkyria just gifted 20 memberships. Holy shit. Thank you very much. Thank you. You guys deserve all the boobs later. We'll hit that clip before we end. Spiritor Dog, Star Citizen reminds me of Mark Kern's Ember. Nearly a decade of dev time and millions of dollars for a day before a clone. Yeah.
You know, that's interesting. You know, I think the comparison is natural to say, you know, like, what have you shown, right? I think that's a conversation worth having. You know, we've had Grums several times, but it is worth saying, like, at what point can you show us a roadmap? At what point can you show us a game? You know, I think that's totally fair.
Yeah, I think so.
No. Holiday of 2015, Craig. That's when the game's coming out.
All the games will be released in 2015.
Don't worry about it. Yeah. Holiday of 2015.
Master Gawa says, it's sad that Star Citizen has made this much, but Shenmue can't get enough money to be completed. My fellow gamers are retarded with the hardest R. Thank you, Master Gawa.
Thanks, Master Gawa.
Socrates, or as Craig says, Floaties in the Shower should be the name of the Rolling Stones' final album.
Socrates.
Tyrannus, is it a scam? Does Chris Roberts still pay himself handsomely for an unfinished game every year? Does he?
It was. He doesn't help himself. I feel bad because, again, I like Chris Roberts. I really genuinely do. It's not just lip service. But he doesn't help himself. I remember right around the time they passed, like, what was it, 400 million or 500 million? He's posting to social media pictures of himself on like a yacht with his wife, just chilling, drinking mine. It's like, bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're making it worse. And he lives in like Australia, right? Something like that. He lives in Australia or some such. So, I mean, you know, you can go out on the water. It's not that ridiculous. It's not even really a rich guy activity, but it looks so terrible.
Right. Subject Nobles to 700 million for a game. Man, that's a lot of blow. Thank you. Cody, y'all should interview Julian LeFay with Razor.
I don't know who that is, but
we should actually, because they just went live. Wayward Realms.
Okay. Tons of fun. So Star Citizen will be garbage and everybody will give it a Cleveland steamer. Behold, you will witness the worldwide phenomenon live on Side Scrollers. Listen, we're not doing any Cleveland steamers here, ever. James says, how many of the 5,248,956 are still breathing?
Half.
Kilvilt of Personality says, is there any saving the SH2 remake, or is it dead on arrival?
The Silent Hill 2. Have you been seeing that, Razor? All the changes they made to that?
Oh my god. I feel so bad because Bloober Team made Observer, which I loved. I loved Observer, and now they're gonna follow it up with this shirt. So good times.
I'm the Icarus says, love Shenmue, but Shenmue 3 was poo, no more. I keep wanting to say Shamu. Anyway, thank you. I'm the Icarus.
With that said, the Silent Hill movie that is going to come out actually kind of looks good.
The original Silent Hill movie I thought was really
I loved that movie. Yeah, they're bringing back that director.
Oh, cool.
So he's coming back to make a sequel.
Awesome.
Nathan says, to clarify, Unreal World is a student game that the dev is just never stopped working on. He only released the game on Steam due to the fan demand, and it continues to add new updates to the game. All right, so I mean, it is technically speaking on development, but wouldn't you just call it live service then? Because it's constantly being updated?
The first live service game. I'm gonna find that Unreal World. Let me go do a little digging here. Keep on going, Blabs.
Okay. Douglas says, Duke Nukem has the same delay issue.
Right, Duke Nukem Forever. Back in the day, man. That was rough.
Nastane for 20 British pounds says, I always wonder why people are so fixated on labeling the game as a scam. The project is ongoing. It's slow, but being delivered still. If when it launches and can be played, do any of you see the scam narrative U-turning? Well, when you say if it launches, I mean, like, that kind of is a question in itself.
So,
well, I mean, look, I've never called it a scam. Go through any of my videos. I've never even used the word scam. I haven't used the word scam today. I don't think Star Citizen is a scam. I think we've seen examples of this without the crowdfunding aspect from AAA studios, even with games that just take a long time because they have to change engine. Or we mentioned Cyberpunk 2077. They had to rebuild that game at least once, maybe twice. We learned that from the employee reviews of the company on Glassdoor, right? Stuff happens in video game development. I don't, for the record, and I've gone on record saying I don't think Star Citizen is a scam. I just think it got a little bit mismanaged early on. I think they underestimated, to a degree, the level of work that would be required to make something like this. I mean, big MMO, persistent universe, space game, totally understandable. I don't think it's a scam, personally. I just think it's been a mismanaged video game project.
Well, I put the title up today. I made the thumbnail. So if you're gonna be mad,
you call it a scam?
Yeah, I did. Sure did. I did.
No wonder people are cranky. I didn't know.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this right now.
It's always Craig's fault.
You have $700 million. At a certain point, you can throw money at your problem. I don't care how long your development cycle is. You can throw money at your problem and make it happen. I'm sorry. It means you're not hired. You haven't hired enough people. The people you've hired aren't good enough, right? You can throw money at your problem. It's $700 million. I'm sorry. That's the reality of it. No game should take 12 years of development time and cost $700 million. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
agree.
it is a scam. I'll say it. I'll say it. Listen, Razor's not saying it. I'll say it. It doesn't make any sense. 0 cents. Show me a $700 anything that doesn't have a product. That's ridiculous. That's just me.
You can play the game though. You can play. They've got an installer. I've played it, such as it is. Right. It's not the game that's been promised yet, but it could be one day, which I think is one of the things that takes these big whale donors in.
Right. So here's the thing: you're not playing the game. You're playing the alpha or the beta of a game. You're not playing the game. You're playing a version of the development of the game. So yeah, I mean, people are like, you're playing the game. No, you're not. You'll play the game when it's released. You know, that's like one of my big problems I had with Fortnite back in the day when they're like, well, it's just still in beta, and it was in beta for 4 years, and it's like finish the game. Finish the game. What has changed since they went from beta, in year 3 to launching in year 4 or whatever it was, alpha, whatever it was. I don't know. The whole thing just doesn't make sense. And let's keep going, Blabs.
Okay. Matthew Chambers says, I got banned on Twitter twice for insulting Pelosi, AOC, Schumer, and the rest in 2017. They wouldn't let me get back on until they gave me my ID and phone number. Never did, so no Twitter for me. Don't miss it. Good. I was going to say, oh my God, don't give them your stuff. Yeesh.
For you, Matthew.
Spooter says,
have you ever seen, by the way, Craig, have you ever seen the video of Chris Roberts trying to play Star Citizen?
No.
He tries to play his own game and the computer won't start it.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find
And
it.
He sits there for like 20 minutes trying to get the damn thing. It does finally work, ultimately. It's awesome. Really funny. Is Dennis around? Can he fix the game? It's genius.
I have it pulled up from 8 years ago.
It's called, yes, it's from 8 years ago. Yes.
Yeah, okay, I got it. Let's keep going, Blabs, while I look at this.
Okay, Spooter says, super glad Silent Hill 2 was delayed since last year. It had a ton of fantastic survival horror games and remakes, and it would have tainted a perfect year for the genre. Thank you, Spooter. Kadeth Gaming, is Star Citizen a modern Daikatana?
Daikatana, yes. Is it? I don't know.
Mage Leader says you should check out Rodina, a space game that's been playable in active dev for ages. Dev's starter goal is to make Morrowind in space. Thank you, Mage.
Right.
The Mad Leprechaun says System Shock is a great example.
Go earlier.
System Shock is a great example of what an actual remastered game can look like.
Yeah, he's like looking around like, why isn't it starting?
Here you go, Blabs. Hold on.
Sorry, guys. Experiencing technical difficulty. Therefore, we'll.
This is classic.
I like his stalking of Snoopy.
Yes. Dude, they have cool game headquarters.
Okay, because the computer's like balked, so I'm going to reboot it.
Computer's like balked.
It's not working. It's got connection time there out. So
this was live, by the way. This is a live stream, I believe.
How do you have a live stream and not do a full tech test before you? Nothing about this makes sense. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. Noob says, remember when OG Cyrus launched and needed 3 graphic cards to run? Even back then, benchmarkers admitted the game and CryEngine was horribly unoptimized. Thank you, Noob.
Crysis, yeah. Yeah, Crysis back in the day was seen as like the graphical killer back in the day. Yeah, for sure.
Vinny says the biggest issue is for every 1 step forward, they take 10 steps back. Fix one thing and breaks 10 other things. All right. Thank you, Vinny. James says, Star Citizen, I wish I could get my money back. I have a lot of money in ships in the initial beginning crowdfund. Now I'm too old and broken to play it. Thank you, James.
How many? I mean, once again, think about that. 12 years. 12 years. The amount of like investing X number in ships, and it's like at a certain point, how many PC updates have you had? How many? It's mind-boggling. Mind-boggling. Sorry,
Tons of fun says last week it was a Cleveland steamer and there will be another on Friday. Don't make me pay 10 again. Well, guess what? I'm not going to look it up. I've decided.
Don't.
$10 is not worth my innocence being ruined. So
That's right. 50 is.
no, it's not. Even more. The new $100 bill is my innocence being ruined.
There it is. Love it.
Never sing it again. Ha! All right. Filthy says, I don't agree with Derek Smart's politics, but he was absolutely correct on Star Citizen. Thank you, Filthy. Angela says, Blab says, I like Legos, and all I heard was, I love lamp. Thanks, Brick. Lord J says, Sponge Boy me Bob, I'm going to Kermit the terrorism.
All right. Thanks, Lord J.
As if today's stream isn't demonetized enough with the freaking Chester the molester talk earlier. And
Rob on Wheels says, I heard there's even a wheelchair user in flipping Bridgerton now, for fuck's sakes. Is there in Bridgerton? Yeah. Bridgerton is so stupid. Everyone's going gaga for this. And I'm like, guys, the original thing is Downton Abbey. That's actually like somewhat historically accurate. This is just like garbage. Anyway, it's fine. Triage says, geez, guys, cheer up. It's not like we're talking about the downfall of Western society or anything. Come on. Right. John says, happy Komatsu D533A day, everyone. Thank you. I don't know what I just read. I'm Licorice says, 12 years. How many of these people are dead?
I know. Seriously, though, I do know that some of the big donors are not with us any longer. May they rest in peace.
Dylan says, what's the largest firearm y'all have fired?
Oh.
Yeah,
probably an pistol. AR. Probably an AR.
Largest, I like bolt action rifles, so I think like the biggest one is my Krag, maybe.
No, that's Krag.
The biggest, hey, what's up? The biggest handgun I ever fired was a Staccato XL, and that thing's spectacular. Anyways, sorry, let's go continue.
Sketch says, Hail Razorfist, when can we expect the next update on the Ghost of the Badlands shipments? Excited to receive that soft cover color edition.
Yeah, the color edition is completely done. And I just sent the posters that are signed over to George, and those are overnighted, so he should get them today. And at that point, he can start getting the color editions printed and get them out to you all. So, yeah,
awesome.
That's what's going on with those.
Elder Chicken says, if Blabs ever considers becoming a plus-size model, she should change her name to Flabs. Well, none of the above will be happening. Thank you.
Keep sending those kind of super chats. She'll change her name to Stabs.
Oh, wow.
In Pal World. Matt Hatter says, at this point, Suicide Squad is in better working state than Star Citizen, and it was cheaper to make. That's a fail state. Thank you, Matt Hatter. Mario says, I remember when Star Money Laundering was first announced, everyone knew this was a scam. How this has lasted this long is a wonder in and of itself. Well, I mean, things never die, do they? Miku says, are you single, Craig? I hear you like Dave and Buster's.
No, it's been well established. I have a wife and children.
Right. All right. I just heard an echo. Right now.
Dave and is there a meme around Dave and Buster's? What is what?
Is it Busters like some type of thing? Like ball busters? I don't know.
I don't know.
Mike says, what's your thought on the AC/DC? Any favorite song?
Thunderstruck's a good one.
No, I can't hear that song anymore.
That's
a drinking game.
Right. I too like classic rock radio every 15 minutes.
There you go. You're out of the house right. No, Craig, we need more Kirsch's jiggles.
Nope, you do not. Nope, not Kirsch, just these. That's all. Keep going.
That's
Go,
right.
go.
Look at that. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. AE Cunningham, member for 2 months. Hail, bro chachos.
What's up, AE?
Lance says, happy Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. Yes, no one's talking about that.
And Dinosaur Month.
And Dairy Month.
What?
Yes. Cheese.
Can we just go back to calling it June, please?
That's too logical. Stop it.
Just be June again.
Elder Chicken, have you guys ever heard of Gregory Horror Show? No?
I'm not. No, sorry.
Sorry. Peter says, Game Pass should have been used as a way to promote small and indie studios instead of giving away their flagship titles for peanuts. That would have been cool.
And you're right.
Zach says, Happy K-Dozer Day, team. Here's to 20 years of innocent men making reasonable choices. Thanks, Zach.
I learned about that before the show. I learned about the meme associated with that. That's pretty funny.
Noxide says, all the great sci-fi games are inspired by sci-fi films. What is Star Citizen based off of?
I would think Star Wars. I mean, the same stuff that Wing Commander was based off of, because Wing Commander was really important in the history of gaming because it was one of the first really cinematic games. So it was inspired by a lot of movies. It's basically just Top Gun in space, right? Star Wars mixed with Top Gun. That's essentially what it is. And it's great. I love Wing Commander.
Mage says, Frank Woods got his kneecaps blown off way back in Black Ops 2. Is not representation this time, just continuity. Okay, that's what I heard, and they're making that ending of Black Ops 2 canon. So, there it is. There's no wheelchair ramps in Black Ops 6. Hooray! Camino Yoni, sorry. Shout out for the hashtag FixTF2 movement, trying to get Valve to address the crisis of cheating aimbots ruining the game. Petition at 200K and counting. Awesome.
You know, I have seen that since people have sent that my. Sorry. One more. Hold on.
Hairball? Hang on. Sorry, Chad. He's got a hairball.
He's got the COVID. Watch it.
Oh, Fauci got the Fauci flu.
Uh-oh.
You
But
should stay 6 feet apart for no reason.
I'd be interested in talking about that if we had the organizers behind it. That'd be for sure the TF2 stuff.
All right. Roku says Frank Woods got his knees blown off in a Black Ops 2 flashbox in the 80s. This game apparently takes place in the 90s to early 2000s. All right. Thank you.
At least you feel represented. That's good.
The Worthy One says, uh-oh, BX is back. Get ready to have your show cut off again, Craig. Just kidding. Love you, BX.
We're pretty close. We were flirting with disaster there for a second.
Yep.
The Orange Man. What would you prefer, furry, scalies, or bromies? What the hell is a scaly? Is that people who like lizards?
I don't. Orange Man.
Is that dragons? I'm not answering this. That's weird.
Yeah, you need to stop that, Orange Man. Stop that.
No, it's time to stop. Anyway. Joe says, don't forget Space Channel 5 on Sega Dreamcast came out 24 years ago. Also, the king of pop, Michael Jackson, appears in the game. Thank you very much, Joe. The Mad Leprechaun, the wheelchair combat part would be cool if they used the power chair from Alien Resurrection with guns attached to it. All right, let's see. Accident says, I bought a new PC with the newest NVIDIA DX10 card that just came out just for Crysis in 2007. Ended up playing in 800 by 600 res just to reach 50 to 60 frames per second.
Oh my God.
Yay!
Hey, real quick. I want to hit all these super chats that have to do with Razor because Razor's got to go.
Oh, yeah.
Waffle House says Razor exhibits such beta energy. It doesn't make you make you much of a man when you have to yell and threaten a fan base with violence. Get a life, dude.
What does that make the people in the chat who are like, I can kill this guy? Stirring him up.
Socrates says, but Razor, why are you threatening the fan base with violence?
I said they should be purged. I didn't say I was going to be the one to purge them. That's not a violent threat. Come on.
Don't you know words are
That's
like
a mass prescription. And the pill is in 45 caliber. Anyway, so continue.
Spooner Jerk says, love you, Razor, but naming a month after Shoe on Hand is kind of mid. You should name it after Craig. Thanks, Spooner Dirk. Appreciate that. Sauce and D says, Hail Razor, when can we expect another Metal Mythos video?
I've got like 2 different ones in the works. I got a really cool one. I got a really long, a bigger one and a smaller one. So yeah.
All right. Any hints on what they are?
No.
All right. Sounds good.
I don't have a roadmap for the development of my videos, Craig. We have passed $800 million raised, though.
That's right. Old School Gamer came in with a $20 Rumble Rant. Says, Razor, first saw you years ago when you did a fill-in episode for Sargon, and that rant you just did This is why I'm still a fan today. Godspeed. Thanks, old school gamer.
Godspeed. Yeah, that one was about, just in case we're not demonetized enough, that one was about mass shooters.
So, right. Great. Looking forward to the check mark coming here.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, Rachel, let's give you a chance to roll out because you got to prep for your next show. But thanks for coming on today, buddy. As always, fill everybody in where they can pick up Ghost of the Badlands and everything.
It is on. Well, I mean, if you got the campaign, if you already did the whole Indiegogo thing, those are shipping out right now. Color version is heading your way very, very soon. You can get the Amazon version on Amazon or at Barnes & Noble or wherever. It's sold everywhere. It's at Arkhaven Comics as well. And hardcover or in the paperback. That's the monochrome version, though. Color version is coming soon.
Love it. All right. Well, we'll let you go, buddy. You can find links to everything in the description down below, including links to the channel, as well as where you can pick up Ghosts. So, Razor, appreciate you, buddy. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of your time on the shows you got going on.
Thank you, fine folks.
All right, buddy. We'll
Godspeed, everyone.
All right, see ya.
Even the Star Citizen fans. I love you and I love Chris Roberts.
Ooh, woo. That's right.
Ooh, woo.
All right, see you, Razor.
All right.
All right, let's go and finish up here. I do think that putting together the debate, the Star Citizen debate would be really interesting for sure.
It's another thing for the round tables.
No, I think that's its own episode, baby. Let's go.
An
I love
episode?
that.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it should be on its own. We just have a dedicated thing just for it.
Oh no, that is it. That's its own. I don't know. There's something there for sure. All right, let's keep on rolling.
Okay, so Miku says, "'Twas established earlier your female happy pride." Thank you.
All right.
John says, remember everyone, sometimes a reasonable man must do unreasonable things.
Thanks, John.
'Twas fun. Your innocence will be safe on Friday, Blabs. Anything over 10 will tap me up.
Sorry, tons of
There's
fun.
a price to pay for my poor innocence.
For
Dylan
destruction.
says, have y'all heard of the Japanese developer?
Nope. Thanks, Dylan.
Patillas. Let's see. Torgo the White. Merry Killdozers, mas everyone. Thank you. Potato Radio. Oh, if you want a fun video, the stop-motion animator Moonshine Animations snuck Kersha and others into California Offkai via an iPad.
Yeah, so I was DMing with Kirsha about that, getting some more information about it, and she is. I have some stuff on that, which we'll get to in a little bit. But anyways, so yeah, let's keep going.
Honey Badger says you should sell MJJA hats. Make June again. Wilson says Star Citizen is based off of Firefly. It was all anyone talked about for a year. Was a money pit. Has a rabid fan base, and folks won't shut up about it. Thank you very much. And David says Razor's first SC video was so long ago. It was in black and white, but not by choice since they didn't have color film back then.
That's
now
awesome.
it's caught up on tubes.
B Barrett came in with the 2 over on Rumble. Says I got my normal innocent pride shirt yesterday evening. Hey, B Barrett, you're gonna look good in that. And Dude came in with a 5. Thank you so much, Dude. Says happy 20th anniversary of the Killdozer, a reasonable man who was led to do unreasonable things. Thank you, Dude. I read Lace Laskey's as well. Cliff came in with a 5. Says, how many of Squadron 42's cast members will be dead by the time the game is released? If the standalone game can be introduced, people to the universe of Star Citizen can be released. Why the delay? I don't know. Dude says, who pays for porn? It's free on Google itself. Just Google boobs. Bentley guy came in and says, everything went downhill after 2 girls, 1 cup. That's when society died. If you don't know what that is, Blabs, there's still hope for you. Blabs, do you know what that is?
Yes, I've never watched it.
Good for you. Dude says, if I could send my tax extortions to the Star Citizens devs instead of the government, I gladly back the game. That'll never release. Thank you. Appreciate that. There's a lot of pessimism in the chat. Fox came in with the 5. Says Star Citizen backers would pay extra for the spicy German shower if you made a fancy trailer for it. Thank you, Fox. Appreciate that. Also, Phasite came in and picked up the American Pride t-shirt. Let's go, Phasite. Thank you very much for picking it up. Available right now only this month. Let's sell 1 million of them. Go pick it up right now. Link is in the description. Thank you so much, Phasite. It says Dread win. He wants me to play Metroid Dread. I gotta get through Donkey Kong first. Mercenary, I see your notes over as well, your donations. Thank you very much for your messages over there. I'm sorry you won't be able to make it to the Ripperverse meetup on Saturday, but I will certainly be there. All right, let's go find a place to roll out here. Oh, we got more coming in from Scooter Durg. Says, go ahead, Labs.
To settle the furry, scaly, brony debate, the answer is anime demi-humans going full anthro is cringe as fuck. Trust me, I know.
All right.
Trust me, bro. I have a source.
That's right. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Do us a favor, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. We genuinely appreciate you guys hanging out with us today. I want you guys to have a great rest of your day and come back bright and early at 11 a.m. Central Time when we're back tomorrow, every day, Monday through Friday, talking about all the fun that's going on in the video game and entertainment world. Great discussion today. Always fun. Thank you to BX for popping in, Razor for being a part of the show, and, of course, Blabs for holding it down from the producer side of things. You guys have a great rest of your day. And remember, people are going to try to keep you down. Don't let them. You guys got a goal. Go get it. Have a great day, guys.